Platformers have been around since 1985 with Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Even then, there were games like Pitfall on the Atari 2600 back in 1982. But those two examples I just named are considered 2D platformers, and with the success of Super Mario 64, many of these games have made the jump to 3D and are now considered 3D platformers. And this genre has given birth to games like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. I love platformers. I have played them ever since I was like 3 years old. My parents had just got rid of their N64 and the GameCube was not out yet, so I had to play a lot of my games on the Super Nintendo and play games like Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario All-Stars. And when I finally got my GameCube, I was able to play a lot more games. Because of my exposure to so many platformers is my favorite genre. A close second is RPGs, but we'll get back to that at a later date. So of course, in this video I will be counting down my top 10 favorite platformers. The only rule is that there can only be one game per franchise, with one exception. I'll bring that up when we get there. So let's get started. I have no idea how to start this one, to be honest with you guys. It's Conkers Bad Fur Day, and I don't know what to say about it. All I can say is how interesting this game is. What I mean by that is this. For a while, this was an N64 exclusive, made by Rareware and was rated M for mature? What? The amount of crazy stuff that happens in this game is unbelievable. There was a Matrix parody, there was a flower character with huge breasts, and there was a boss that is made out of shit. Now normally I wouldn't use such language, but I thought it would be fitting for this game because this game sure does have a potty mouth. The poop guy even has his own song!
Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
The game itself is pretty fun though. I like the level design and the controls are very solid. What makes it stick out the most though is, like I said before, the humor. It is not like any other platformer, and I love it. Who doesn't like Yoshi? No, seriously, I dare you to go in the comments section of this video and say that you hate Yoshi. You will most likely get a crap ton of hate. Anyway, like everyone else, I love Yoshi and his games, like Yoshi's Island and even the ones on the DS. But what really surprised me was how much fun I would have with Yoshi's Woolly World. I thought it was going to be just like Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS, bland and forgettable, but much to my surprise, it was a very solid game. I liked how each level introduced a new mechanic to keep you on your toes, and all the different designs of the Yoshis and Yarn, so adorable. It's so well polished. Every inch of this game is covered in some kind of fabric and it looks beautiful. I even like how when you run across, Yoshi even pushes down on the ground. Some of the levels, I have to admit, gave me some troubles, especially in the last world. This was a nice breath of fresh air and I hope all future Yoshi games follow in this one's footsteps. Keeping up with the Yarn theme, next up is Kirby's Epic Yarn. Good Feel makes some good ass games, man. They did this, Yoshi's Woolly World, and Wario Land Shake It. They did some other games obviously, but those are just the highlights. Kirby's Epic Yarn is just so gosh darn adorable. You have this whip in the game that you use to get rid of enemies and get across platforms. It's a really nice departure from the normal Kirby mechanic. In this game, you cannot absorb your enemies and copy their abilities. Instead, you only have the whip, and I personally really like this change. It offers something new to the series and it works great. I will admit it can be a bit easy, but you end up having so much fun in the game and admiring the amount of detail in it that you kinda just forget about all of that and enjoy the game for what it is. I love this game and I really want a sequel to this. Crash Bandicoot, how I miss you so. Allow me to count the ways. I miss your Naughty Dog logo. I miss your boxes and the way you crash them. I miss the Wumpa fruit you collect for no reason. I miss the mask that goes, "What have I got?" I miss you. Most of all, Crash, I want you back in my life. Please, Crash, come home. We miss you.
What have I got?
No, this can't be. Crash? What did they do to you, buddy?
This can't be.
Crash?
This can't be real. This can't
Crash?
be happening.
Oh, they confirmed PS4 remakes. I guess that's a start. Oh, another classic. Banjo-Kazooie is another 3D platformer developed by Rareware, and holy crap is this game amazing. I heard so many good things about this game and its sequel that I had to check them out eventually. These two games are the sole reason that I got the Rareware collection on the Xbox One. That's actually how I was introduced to Banjo-Kazooie and Conker. I never thought I would say this, but I do think it is the best platformer on the N64. It even passes Super Mario 64. And trust me, that was very hard for me to come to terms with. The level design is perfect, the controls are perfect, and even the difficulty is perfect. I am so glad I was introduced to this series, and I can't wait to try out nuts and bolts. That's probably going to be even better, right guys? Guys? My favorite season has to be summer. Going to the beach and being out of school for 3 months was awesome when I was younger. During the summer, I would play nothing but Super Mario Sunshine, and each year I would swear that this was going to be the time I was going to 100% the game. And I never did, but those memories are there, and even to this day I still play Super Mario Sunshine over the summer. No longer to try and 100% it, but just to play it and have fun each year. I love the setting of this game. I think Delfino Plaza is an awesome hub world. There are a lot of things to do, and I really enjoyed Flood. His character was a nice addition. It made platforming a lot more interesting and the level design a lot more interesting. Each level matches the theme of summer all too well. There was an amusement park, a beach, and a hotel. I am still waiting for my Super Mario Sunshine 2, but until then, this game is just fine. Another game that impressed me a lot was Rayman Legends. I honestly don't like Ubisoft. I don't like any of their games except for Just Dance and this one Rayman game. What impressed me the most was the use of the Wii U gamepad. Another player could control the frog-looking character and move around platforms, objects, and stun enemies. There are certain levels where the use of the gamepad is required, and these levels are a ton of fun. It showcased the creativity in the level design, and you could tell the designers gave it their all in each level. I even like the levels where you have to time your jumps and attacks in beat of the music. These were a blast to play. If you haven't played this game yet, then I recommend picking up the Wii U version. The other versions suck, because using the Xbox One controller to move the little frog guy is not as fluent as using the touchscreen on the Wii U gamepad. Why they ported it to the other consoles is beyond me, and I think it was a dumb decision, but the Wii U version is still really good and very enjoyable. Going back to that whole loophole thing, yeah, number 3 is Super Mario World. The only reason I am putting this here is because I count it differently than Super Mario Sunshine, because Sunshine is a 3D platformer and World is a 2D platformer. And it's my list, so I'll do whatever I want. Super Mario World is, in my opinion, the best 2D Mario game. The world is simply beautiful and so much fun to traverse. The challenge in this game is unreal. I have yet to beat this game. It's that difficult. I have the Super Nintendo version, and I have to say that it really is the best way to play the game. The Super Nintendo controller is so comfortable, and it really does look better on the SNES. The new Super Mario games are pretty good, but they are a little too generic. This one, on the other hand, is so refreshing. Even the Bowser fight is different than normal fights. This game is just too good. I believe Shovel Knight needs no introduction. Where do I even start with Shovel Knight? I'll try my best. Let's go. I love the graphics, the music, the level design, and the controls. I felt like any death I had was my fault and never the game's fault. I love the boss battles. Each one was unique and difficult in their own way. Each one took me at least 5 tries to beat them, and it was frustrating as hell, but what made it all worth it was the story. I don't want to say too much because I want to talk about this game in more detail one day, so just know that this game is an absolute masterpiece, and I am still salty he wasn't added in Super Smash 4. It really is no surprise that I love Donkey Kong Country, and it really should not have been a surprise that I have put it at the #1 spot. The reason DKC is so close to me is because it was the first game I ever played. One day my parents took out their Super Nintendo out of their closet, plugged it in, and handed me the controller, and I soon started playing Donkey Kong Country. My memory's a little faint, but I do remember seeing Donkey Kong shooting out from his home, and soon I was starting my adventure. Now that I am older, I can really appreciate this game for all that it is. I can now appreciate the tight controls and level design, and I can especially appreciate the brutal difficulty. I mean, Jesus! This game really will kick your ass, and it just doesn't care, and I love it for that. I actually just beat it for the first time not too long ago because I would always give up around World 3. I have so many memories surrounding this game, and it will always have a special place in my heart.